Hey everybody, Sean here from VidGamiac.com. Here we are today back in 1979 Revolution, grabbing the Pahlevoon the Hero achievement. This is to beat the game without messing up a Quicktime event. If you were like me and messed one up during your first playthrough, you can actually get it through the chapter select, only replaying the chapters that have Quicktime events. I also recommend doing this achievement at the same time as your moral choice achievements. The reason for that is most of the chapters are going to be the same between the two. So your first Quicktime event is going to be in Chapter 1. It's after grabbing the plans and heading outside. These cops are going to show up. The first Quicktime event is actually really simple. You just have to press down and then mash the A button when he's trying to smack you around right here, and that should clear the first one. Then your first moral choice is going to be in Chapter 3. You can play that and make the violence decision if you want to. After each chapter, when the next chapter starts, just hit start and then exit, and then just go back to the chapter select. That way you don't have to replay the entire game. As long as you're doing the chapters in the correct sequential order, you shouldn't miss the Quicktime event achievement by skipping chapters using the chapter select. So next chapter is going to be Chapter 5. Once again, this has a moral choice, and you could take advantage of doing the opposite choice from your first playthrough at the same time as going for this achievement if you want to. So make sure you do that. The Quicktime event is going to be right at the end when you are trying to run away. Right, left, up to get over the trash can. Then you have to hit A to jump over this cop car. Then you have to hit up to jump over this cart. Then you have another button mashing sequence, so mash that A button. This one doesn't flash green, so just fill it up and that counts as passing it. And then finally, one more direction. You just have to hit right to roll away and then grab your camera, and then you should be another step closer to the achievement. Next Quicktime event is going to be in Chapter 8. This also has a moral choice in it. So this is when you get into the theater area. You're going to get jumped by the security dudes. Then you're going to have some talking. As soon as you make this conversation choice right here, after he says he's on our side, pick something and get ready to Quicktime event. He puts you up against the wall. Then you're supposed to press left. Then you want to go down. Then you have this part where you're going to hug it out. Mash that A button until it turns green, then put your finger on A again, because the next part is going to be another button mashing segment after a lot of tussling. So once you're on the grounds, just mash that A button again, and then right after this, there is going to be another moral choice, which once again, you can make the violence choice if you're attempting that achievement at the same time. Can't stress that enough. Might as well knock two birds out with one stone and do two of them in the same playthrough to avoid a potential third playthrough. Whatever the case, last couple of things are going to be in Chapter 16, Moral Choices and QTEs. First QTE is actually a consequence of a moral choice. Once you get to the end of the street, you have a choice to fight the thug or not. There are some reports that say this is also counted towards the QTE achievement. However, I have seen people get the QTE achievement in their peaceful playthrough, so that's contentious. But whatever the case, you have to do a QTE if you choose the violence path. Right, then down. Then you want to go left, and then there's going to be a bit of a break. Then you have another button mashing sequence followed up with some more directions. So try to keep your eyes on this, although the icons are pretty big on this QTE, so it shouldn't be too hard. So we have an up part, then a down part, and then we are going to get smacked in the leg. More cutscene stuff's going to happen. Make sure you hit that right, very easy to miss. And then we are going to get into another tussle. Mash that A button, and you should be good for this part. That should be the last violent option, so you should get the last morality achievement, but we still have one more QTE in the game. And then finally, at the end of the chapter, you have the final QTE. First off, start with the right and then an up to get over the rubble. Then you have the very annoying part where you have to wait until there is a break in the fire. So once the QTE pops up, don't hit it right away. Wait until the bullets stop firing, and then you want to hit right to jump, and then you have to hit the A button behind this car. And this is probably the QTE you messed up during your first playthrough, as it did with me, because you are probably used to hitting the directions as they pop up on the screen. You have to be patient here, wait for a break in fire, and then hit the direction. Same thing with this part. Make sure you wait for the break and then hit right. Then you have another one of those parts. Wait for a break in the fire, and then hit right again to go behind the next car, and then you have to do it one more time to go left once you are behind this car. So be very patient. Don't hit the arrow as soon as it pops up. You have to wait a little, and then once you get it down, you should get your last QTE out of the way. So hopefully this saved you an additional second playthrough using that chapter select method. There's the achievement at the end of the game, 90 gamer score during the credits, and that's all there is to it.